Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video, of course, on the crypto markets. We're going to do a full update here. There's a couple of things I want to talk about, especially regarding Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I keep a very close eye on, of course, but we'll talk briefly about XRP as well, and then I'll try to zoom in on some altcoins that are interesting. I mean, this morning there were actually quite a lot of altcoins that were interesting. Excuse me. If you also go to my XProfile right here, you can see I posted a list of coins that I thought were interesting. In the Signal group, we also took some trades on those, but if you're interested in trades, profitable trades, dare I say, then consider joining that. Links will be down in the description, but definitely follow me on X, because I try to give a ton of valuable information and tips and tricks there as well. So hopefully I'll see you there. I'll see the follow coming in. But for now, that's what we'll talk about, right? We'll talk about some news as well. There is no major news I think we need to talk about specifically right now. But just to talk about the opening of the US market so far. We had some economic data. We had JOLTS job openings coming in, but the last time that was a little bit lower than expected, which is actually bullish. But then we also had the trade balance coming in. And even though this data normally doesn't really matter that much, in this case, this is lower or higher than expected, a higher than expected trade deficit, which could lead to trade deals being made a little bit more difficult. So that's slightly bearish. But right now, the market isn't really reacting to that. I mean, if you take a look at the S&P 500, that has opened relatively strong here, so that's great. We're also expecting, I think today we're actually expecting some sort of news made public by Trump about exemptions for automakers and car makers from tariffs. So that's potentially fueling this, but together with that, we see that gold is stable. Volatility index is down again, so that means more stability, and more stability is good for Bitcoin and for crypto as a whole, right? But then the question becomes, and this is something I've talked about for basically the entire week, I think, and that is, or at least so far this week, and that is that one of the main things that we had last week was some sort of a trinity of things that together push the price of Bitcoin higher, right? And now what you can see, like, this is the 30-minute time frame, so it's a little bit ridiculous. But if you go to the 1-hour time frame, you can see that Bitcoin has been balanced between 93,600 and 95,400. Keep those levels in mind. Those are by far the most important levels. And we want to break out of that, right? But what we saw last week is that what you need to break out is a bullish stock market, which we do have. You need a Coinbase Bitcoin Premium, which we also do have, all right? So that's 2 out of 3 already. But then you also need volume, and volume has been lacking, right? You can see down here, it's very small, I know, but you can see the volume right here, and that's just much lower than it was last week, all right? So therefore, look, I think it's most likely that eventually we will actually get a bullish breakout, and that we can get up to 96,600, 97,000. I think that is most likely, and that could also happen today if we get that volume. And until we get that volume, the opening today was also very, very balanced. So until we get that volume and that strength into the markets, I'll have to say I think it's most likely we'll stay in this balance right here, where right now we're at the top of that balance. So I'd say it's most likely we're going to drop down to the bottom of the balance, right here at 94,300, 94,000, 93,600. And then when we're down there, I do expect that support level to hold as well, unless we get some very bearish news. But short term, a price action like this, especially with the Bitcoin dominance that's still very high, could provide altcoins with quite a lot of bearish pressure. I mean, you can see right here as well, altcoins are starting to uncorrelate a little bit, but ultimately they're still very dependent on Bitcoin, right? So that's I think that's most important about what you need to know regarding the markets right now. Now, talking about some coins specifically here, there's no major news I think we need to talk about right now, but XRP still holding, right? Very similar to Bitcoin. It's very balanced. It's very strong actually. So as long as this holds 2.25, we're good. And I still think that eventually, same as what I said for Bitcoin, we're going to get a bullish breakout up to 2.41, 2.45. But now, right now, it's waiting for that to happen, waiting for that momentum to kick in. And then hopefully before that, we will not get any major bearish news for the general financial markets, right? Because if the stock market dumps, who knows why, crypto will follow. And then we have some interesting, like there's definitely interesting coins here. I know a lot of you are interested in Sui. Sui is also finding balance right here between 3.8 and 3.45, which we're waiting for a breakout, obviously. Solana, most of you know, we're waiting for a breakout between 145 and 154. So a lot of these coins are waiting for some sort of breakthrough, and then after that we'll get some more direction. There's also some coins that are pulling some more volume than normal, but nothing that I would like to show you, right? I mean, there's a couple of coins that look quite manipulated. So if you take a look at Drift, for example, if you take a look at Verge, those this morning they had a lot of volume kick in, and that's quite interesting. Same can be said for Adventure Gold, which is this coin. Look, this is interesting. Zeta, also interesting if we're going to be able to break above 28 cents. But these coins are very risky to trade, right? So if you want to know more about that, you can better follow me on X. Sometimes I make videos talking about potentially pumping cryptos for that day. There I also tend to cover these coins. But for now, that's a brief list, but that's what I would focus on, and that's what I think you need to know regarding the markets. All right, so if you do have any questions, of course, let me know down in the comments. But for now, have a great day, take care, and bye.